People who don't believe privilege exists in America are often oversimplifying it and misunderstanding it. Privilege is not always the existence of something in your life that gives you an advantage. Privilege can be the absence of barriers in your life that would impede your ability to succeed. And by succeed, I mean like stay out of jail, stay out of poverty. I see like Charlie Kirk at college events. Charlie always goes like, well, point me to a piece of policy.
Be specific. What law is systemically racist? Is there one?
And he usually does this knowing that that piece of policy that says like white people get this, black people don't. That doesn't exist, right? They want to be like, oh, we got rid of all the Jim Crow laws and all the racist policy that exists in America without acknowledging that there is still policy that exists that disproportionately affects non-white people and non-men. And Charlie loves to talk about how there is no white privilege because there's nothing I could do as a white person that black people can't do.
Is there anything that you can't do that I can do?
No, we could do the same things if we put our minds to it.
Good. Then there's no white privilege.
It's not the existence of something in every white person's life that doesn't exist in a black person's life. It's about statistical likelihoods. It's about having systemic disadvantages. Having a disadvantage doesn't mean you can't win. It means it's harder to win. So the existence of a single black person who has been rich and successful does not mean white privilege doesn't exist. It just is a lot more difficult to do so. And so, like, I've talked about systemic racism here before, but like systemic racism often manifests in data and in statistics instead of in an actual physical piece of policy. You're statistically more likely, if you're black, to be born into poverty. You're statistically more likely to be arrested for crimes you didn't commit, to be stopped by police officers when you were doing nothing wrong. You're more likely to live in a neighborhood that has more police patrolling it because more heavily black neighborhoods are more heavily policed. And then once you get arrested, on average, black people get 13% longer sentences for the same crimes as white people and are 23% less likely to have probation as a part of it, as opposed to getting thrown in jail. None of these things have policy behind them. These are all things that make it more difficult to succeed as a black person, to stay out of poverty, which means you're more likely to stay out of jail. All of these things are likelihoods. I am saying that there exist things in black people's lives that make it more difficult. I'm not saying that they make it impossible. And on the whole, when you look at the population of people, the argument overwhelmingly supports the notion that white privilege exists. The median household income for white households is $250,000, whereas the median household income for black households is $24,000. Over and over and over again, we can see these things existing. There just aren't pieces of policy that say that they have to exist or that enforce them. Now, that doesn't mean there is no policy. Policy with regards to healthcare and with regards to abortion access disproportionately affects black women. And you could go on.